Hello YouTube family, thanks for tuning in to my videos, for those of you who do, as I try to break down the BS of our socio-political existence here on this globe. If you like the videos, please give it a like. If you've not subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel, as that will help the channel grow. And again, thanks for watching the videos. Hello YouTube family, this video is about the recent sudden departure of U.S. troops from Afghanistan. We are pulling some of the Afghani people out, not nearly enough, but this first video is the video of U.S. planes leaving Afghanistan in Kabul.
Hey, baby.
Okay, there, so we had the first video, which was, as the screen capture to my left shows, an Air Force C-17 leaving Kabul, and all these Afghan people on the tarmac as it's taxiing out for departure. You had Afghanis trying to cling on to the side of the aircraft to get out of Afghanistan, as the Taliban has swept across in a little over a week all of Afghanistan and taken control of the entire country back. This incident was after the Taliban took control of the capital there in Kabul. And the U.S. was fleeing with our tail tucked between our legs in utter failure in Afghanistan. That's what we accomplished, failure. And as you saw, those dots falling from the plane were human beings. Some people lost their lives that day. There is a report that when the plane landed, hours later, there was a dead Afghan caught in the landing gear of the aircraft. The second video was more recent, and it was a family hoisting their infant child up over razor wire to U.S. troops, hoping the troops would take their baby back to America and give their child hope for a better life, as the people in Afghanistan fear the worst, as the Taliban has taken over the country again, and they are a very authoritarian, militantly Islamic regime, and the United States is the reason why Afghans are losing hope, because we are fleeing. We are running with our tail tucked between our legs, as I said. We're fleeing after 20 years of utter shame and embarrassing failure in the Middle East. You have Afghan people who aided and abetted America, whose lives are in danger, who know their lives are in danger. We made a promise all the way back in the George W. Bush administration to protect these people and to give them safe haven for helping us. You have soldiers who are alive in America with their families today because their lives were saved by some of these Afghani people. And you can listen to the story soldiers. the soldier stories. They will be very blunt. They are alive today because of Afghans who saved their life. And we owe the people in Afghanistan. We invaded their country. We wrecked their country for 20 years, 2 decades. We made promises we were never going to keep. And then we just leave in utter shame. Now, as far as fault goes, we were in Afghanistan. We started during the George W. Bush administration. We were in Afghanistan as a knee-jerk reaction to 9/11. The 19 supposed hijackers on 9/11 came here from Saudi Arabia. We did not invade Saudi Arabia. We did not engage in regime change in Saudi Arabia. We attacked Afghanistan. Because there were terrorist training camps in Afghanistan. Guess what? There's terrorist training camps in Idaho, in Wyoming, in Alabama, in Texas. You don't have to go across an ocean to find terrorist training camps. Well, they're here in America. We have white supremacist domestic terrorist training camps in this country where they're training for war against America, where they're stockpiling weapons. I guarantee you if they were investigated, they would be found to have illegal weapons. We don't have to go anywhere to find terrorists. They're in America, and we're not cleaning up that problem. Why are we traveling across the ocean to clean up terrorism in a foreign country that didn't attack us? Because of money. Dwight Eisenhower, decades ago, warned us in his memoir about the danger of the military-industrial complex, and like America, we didn't listen. Because generally we don't listen. We don't pay attention to history. We don't learn from lessons of history. We repeat failure over and over again. And there is a lot of blame to go around for Afghanistan. Afghanistan wasn't about fighting terrorism. It was about revenge. After 9/11, the Bush administration had popular support for military action. His vice president, Dick Cheney, was the former CEO of Halliburton, the largest DoD contractor in America. And what they wanted was war. War that would last and last and last. A war against terrorism is a never-ending war because there are always going to be people who engage in terrorism. There are people, like I said, in this country who engage in terrorism. Americans. But America has that mentality that, but there are white Christians. We don't hold white Christians accountable. We're not going to go after white Christians. We're going to go to the Middle East and attack people who don't look like us, who are Muslim. People who the American population don't care if they get hurt or die. We went to Afghanistan, we ruined lives, we ruined families, we ruined infrastructure. We wreaked havoc across that country. And right now, we are leaving a lot of Afghans who helped us in danger. You have the right-wing propaganda apparatus already spooling up. You had Laura Ingraham on her show saying, I didn't make any promises to those people. Did you make any promises to those people? Her rhetorical question was, of course, you didn't, I didn't. This country did. I personally would like to be a part of a country that when we give our word, we stand behind our word. I would like to be part of a country that's trustworthy. The first president who broke the promise was George W. Bush. Barack Obama, for 8 years, also upheld the breaking of the promise. Donald Trump, for his 4 years in office, broke the promise, but let's face it, Donald Trump has broken every vow he's ever made, including to his 3 wives. Donald Trump is the last person who's going to uphold his word. And now we have Joe Biden. Joe Biden is going to get the brunt of the blame. For all of the failure in Afghanistan, it's going to fall on Joe Biden. That's the way it works. When you're sitting at the top of the hill when the bad stuff happens, you're going to get the blame for the stuff that's rolling down the hill, even if that stuff's been rolling down the hill for 20 years. And Joe Biden, he owns part of the blame. He was vice president for 8 years under Obama, and he's president now. It comes down to, even though Donald Trump is the president who made the deal with the Taliban, he's the one that made the peace deal with the Taliban, where he basically gave Afghanistan back to them under the promise that we would get Americans out safely. Donald Trump's plan was to have the U.S. troops out of Afghanistan by May 1st. It's August. Donald Trump's plan was just to have everyone who is a U.S. citizen over there pack up and go home. He wasn't going to care about anybody else. Now, getting out of Afghanistan, that's the right move because we're there. We should never have been there to begin with. This was a war. This was a military operation that should never have been started. We should have been there. And so, yeah, the right move is to get out. Biden failed at planning the departure, just like our military, our security personnel failed at training and preparing the Afghan government we put in place and the Afghan military we had in place. You had military contractors who were supposed to prepare the Afghani people to defend their country. Now we have Joe Biden heaping all the blame on the Afghanis. That why should we be there defending their country if they're not going to defend their country? They're giving up easily without a fight. It's our failure. And it's disgusting that Joe Biden wants to blame it on the Afghan people who we failed for 2 decades after invading their country. That's the wrong move, and it's a bad look, and it's going to be used against Biden. This debacle will be used next year in the midterm elections. All those people saying some Republican would have done it better are either ignorant or lying. There's no other option. They're either ignorant to the fact that a Republican politician wouldn't have done it differently. The only thing a Republican might have done was stay in Afghanistan, keep troops in Afghanistan, so the Taliban didn't take back over. But how long are we going to be there? Forever? It was always the case that no matter when we left, the Taliban was taking back over. That was always going to be the case. Because we did not set these people up for success in our absence. The Taliban was staved off only as long as we were there. But now that we are departing, we owe it to the people who helped us. To bring them back. We owe it to bring the Afghan people who helped us back here to America. You have Tucker Carlson fear-mongering about us bringing diseased terrorists from Afghanistan over here, which is not the case. He's fear-mongering about the poor vetting process because Trump bragged about his super vetting he was going to do or whatever, which isn't real. The vetting process to bring people here to immigrate to America is by far the most daunting on the globe. It's very difficult. It's a very long, tedious, multi-year, multi-step process. It's about a 20-step process, which includes multiple background checks. And Tucker Carlson's claiming that we have to go through the Taliban to vet people, which isn't true. And we owe it to the people who helped us. We owe it to the people who helped our soldiers stay alive to give them safe haven here. If they want to come here, we owe it to them to bring them here. And that's the only acceptable answer from the Biden administration. If he fails on that, then I would say he deserves the blame he's going to get. He's going to get the blame no matter what. Even if he succeeds and upholds the promise of America, which I would be happy with, I would certainly, he would have earned some of my respect if he ends up upholding the promise of America to the Afghan people who helped us. If they want to come here and he allows them to come here, then good on him. He did the right thing. And this fear-mongering over the Taliban, you have idiots like Donald Trump who claim the Taliban have been fighting for thousands of years. The Taliban's been around since the 90s. Since the 1990s. Donald Trump's a moron. He doesn't know. He didn't know what he was doing when he was president. He doesn't know now. He's not going to learn after he's out of office. He didn't learn while he was in office. Donald Trump spent most of his time watching TV and playing golf while he was president. Let's get real. You can be a delusional right-winger all you want. You can try on both sides, everything. It's BS. Donald Trump is a coward. He has no spine. He did not stand up to the Taliban. He begged them for a peace deal. That's who Donald Trump was. Donald Trump is a coward. And Biden, so far, is making America look like cowards. I mean, we are fleeing Afghanistan after another failed military operation. But we create our own enemies. We created the Taliban. We created the Taliban when Russia invaded Afghanistan, just like we created Osama bin Laden, just like we created Saddam Hussein before that in Iraq. We create our own enemies. We have spent well over $2 trillion just in Afghanistan. Hundreds of billions of dollars going to military contractors. Private companies with executives who are padding their pockets with insane amounts of money, throwing money around like it's nothing, because to them it is nothing. There's always going to be another contract. You have all Republicans and most Democrats who have no problem whatsoever giving these lofty contracts to the military contractors. So they're getting out. The military contractors have nothing to worry about. They've got private jets. They can get out. They've got the ability to get their people out of there. The military is going to get out. And the Taliban's going to run Afghanistan. They're already showing their hardcore fundamentalist Islamic nature. You have women who over the last 2 decades started working in news media in Afghanistan, who are being pushed out of the news media because that's against the mentality of these fundamentalist Taliban people. It's going to go back to how it was. There's no new and improved changed Taliban. It's going to be bad for the Afghan people who are left. But that is what I wanted to talk about today. We went over there. We should never have gone. We made a mess for 2 decades. We killed people. We ruined lives. We ruined families. We destroyed infrastructure. And after 20 years of making a big mess, we pack up and leave. It's disgusting. It's embarrassing. If you are truly a patriotic American, it should be embarrassing to you how bad we did. We went there with no plan. We developed no plan. And we left a mess behind. We owe it to the people, and there are soldiers now alive who are absolutely defending this position. The people who supported us over there, the Afghanis who supported us, the Afghanis who risked their lives for American lives, for American soldiers' lives, need to come here. We need to bring them here. And that's the video for today. Thanks for watching. By all means, I hope you all have a great day.